What's going on, Ravens fans? Before I get into today's show, I want you to like the video for a Ravens dub. I'm going to take responsibility for last week's loss because I underestimated the Dolphins a little bit, and I think everyone did. And I didn't start the show off by saying, like the video for a win. So the Ravens lost. So what we're doing, we're switching it up here. Like the video for a Ravens dub. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to give you an inside look at the Ravens up against the Chicago Bears. I'm going to give you my score prediction. We're going to walk through some injury updates and give you all the latest news and actually also some keys to victory. So when you're looking at this game, if I've learned anything this season from the NFL, you can't take anyone lightly. The 6-3 Baltimore Ravens on the road at Soldier Field up against the Chicago Bears, who are 3-6. And most people are going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, a 3-6 team, we should be able to take care of business. You're right. You should. But if you sleep on Chicago, they can be a very sneaky team. Now, we are first going to look at the enemy here and look at some of their injuries in terms of what's been the latest going on around them. Akiem Hicks, he didn't practice on Wednesday with an ankle injury. Eddie Jackson did not participate with a hammy. Khalil Mack's dealing with that foot, and he's been out. Trevathan dealing with a knee injury. Allen Robinson, their top receiver, despite them not using him. Elijah Wilkinson, and then Alec Ogletree. So tons, and I mean tons of big-name Bears players that could potentially be out in this game. Now let's look at our side of the football here, the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, illness, he's going to be okay. Marquise Hollywood Brown dealing with a thigh injury. They expect him to play. Bradley Boozman, he's dealing with an illness. Maybe it's simply because he's got Booz in his last name. I don't know. I still think that they expect him to play. And then Brandon Williams dealing with that shoulder injury. Here's what head coach John Harbaugh had to say about Lamar Jackson and Boozman today. Both are sick, so you won't see them out there on the practice field he's talking about today. They both got sent home. It's not COVID, just sick. So you really see the head coach here kind of just putting an extra emphasis on it's not COVID, especially with a quarterback like Lamar, who has definitely dealt with some COVID issues in the past. Some other injuries that we're going to hit on. Jimmy Smith did not participate. Taven Young, Patrick McGarry, who has basically been what seems like on the injury report every single game this season. And then Latavius Murray, some good news around Latavius, who was limited on practice with an ankle injury. He's missed a ton of games recently, and I definitely think it speaks some volumes of Latavius. Now, out of all those injuries that I just went through there, which one concerns you the most? Obviously, when you see Lamar Jackson, your heart kind of stops there for a second. You're like, oh, shit, that's our quarterback. But his injury definitely doesn't scare me the most because I 100% anticipate him ended up playing in this one. But let me know, which Ravens injury concerns you the most? All right, y'all, now coming up here, we're going to get into some Ravens keys to victory, and I only have 3, and maybe this is going to go back to last week where I'm going to get the ground game going. The Ravens offense, for whatever reason, credit Miami for really being able to stop them, but you've had 10 days now. You've had 10 days to try to prepare for Chicago, and if you can get this running game going, I really don't know if there's an NFL team that can stop you. Now, the Bears are allowing 4.4 yards per carry this season, which is actually a little bit more in the middle of the road, but the Ravens team from top to bottom is built on really trying to establish the run, and if you can get a lead early, good luck trying to stop this man. Lamar Jackson, who's got 106 carries, 639 yards. He's averaging 6 yards per carry. It's absolutely ridiculous. And 2 touchdowns. And then what's really made the Ravens kind of spectacular is the running backs being able to get involved because you didn't have J.K. Dobbins, you don't have Gus Edwards, you don't have Justice Hill. So realistically, you're just picking guys off the street. Devonta Freeman, major love to Freeman, who's got 43 carries this season, 223 yards. Now, sure, when you have Lamar, it definitely helps out the running back position, but also some good news, and actually a guy that I mentioned earlier who was a limited participant, Latavius Murray. It sounds like right now the Ravens coaches actually anticipate him to play in this one, and the thing that I like is it's kind of like lightning and thunder. When Murray's out there, they're going to pound the rock right down your throat. When it's Freeman, he's a little bit of a quicker back. 59 carries, 212 yards, 4 touchdowns. The other thing that really should open your eyes in terms of how confident they are that Murray's going to play, they said goodbye to Le'Veon Bell, which I don't know about you, I'm not the biggest Le'Veon Bell fan. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and predict the score. Baltimore Ravens up against the Chicago Bears. And at the very, very end of today's show, I'm going to go back to this graphic, and then I'm going to give you my score prediction. So let me know down in the comments, Ravens, Bears, give me the score. All right, y'all, let's look at this game here because you got the Ravens, they're minus 4.5, and then the Bears, the total over-under this one is 45 points. And I can understand both sides of it. The Bears are one of these teams that they're coming off a bye, so a lot of people are like, oh, they should be ready. Here's the thing. The Bears have lost 7 straight games coming off a bye. And you want to talk about stink, you want to talk about bad head coaching, that's what a bad head coach does. They can't get their team ready to play coming off a bye. Now, if you want to bet on this game for the Ravens, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm betting on this game. This is actually one of my locks of the week, and I'm going to go ahead and do it at BetUS. Now, for those of you that are wondering, what the hell is this deal that I got up on screen? It's the best deal on the internet, and I mean that. Like, I challenge you to be able to go out and try to find a company that's giving you 125% deposit bonus. If you don't know what that means, if you go to chatsports.com/bet, use promo code CHAT125, and if you deposit $100, you're going to get $125 for free to bet with. You can deposit $200, you get $250 to bet with. You can actually deposit up to $500 and get $625 for free. If you're wondering what some games that I'm betting on this week, because I told you, I'm not a liar. I am a man of my word. I am taking the Ravens minus 4.5 at Chicago. I'm also going to bet the under in that Miami and Jets game because it's Tua and it's Joe Flacco. The Packers minus 2.5, though. The last time I checked on BetUS, this game is now -1. So if you think the Packers are going to beat Minnesota, go ahead and bet on that game. Give me the under in Arizona-Seattle. I was not impressed last week with Russell Wilson. They didn't score a point. And then Arizona with Colt McCoy maybe, or an unhealthy Kyler Murray. And then give me the Colts +7 because they've been hanging tough with some teams. One more time, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. Let's go to the next key to victory here. We're going to try to make Justin Fields a pocket passer. Not that I don't think he's a pocket passer, but where he can really beat you is when he can start using that athleticism, get outside the pocket, especially when he can scramble to his right, and then he plants that foot, and he has an absolute rocket for an arm. If you keep him in the pocket, you're going to be able to get after him. Why? The Bears rank right now dead last in passing touchdowns and passing yards per game. Do I think that has solely to do with Justin Fields? No. There's a big reason is because, let's face it, Matt Nagy, he stinks as an offensive play caller, but it's the Bears' offensive line. They've allowed the most sacks this season, 33. 3 more than the next closest team. So if you got the Baltimore Ravens defense in fantasy, I'm saying go ahead and play them. I think Odafe Owe, the rookie out of Penn State, is going to have himself a hell of a game. Calais Campbell, one of the best players in the league right now. Justin Madubuike, Tyus Bowser, it's not going to matter. Pin your ears back, get after Justin Fields, and start creating some turnovers. Now, what do you guys think? Because before I reveal my last key to victory here, these shows that we do here at Chat Sports, obviously, we like, recording, and we like being able to give you guys the info that you crave, but it's a two-way communicative street, right? I mean, if you see some random guy on the side of the road, he's talking to himself, chances are, you're like, that guy's effing nuts. I don't want to be effing crazy. So let me know. What's your biggest key to victory for the Ravens? All right, my last one here is this. Win the turnover battle. And sometimes a lot of people always say, well, you got to win the turnover battle. I really think the only reason why Baltimore lost last week up against the Dolphins, which seems already like a forever ago, 10 days ago at this point, is because of this. They turned the ball over twice, and Miami didn't. If you can honestly look me in the eyes and say that the Dolphins have a better roster from top to bottom than Baltimore, I'm going to call you crazy. Now, did they have a good game plan? Absolutely. Did they try to slow down the running game and challenge Lamar to throw the ball? Yes, they did. But if you take care of the football, you don't turn it over, there's no reason why you should not be able to take down the Chicago Bears despite being on the road. You had 10 days to prepare. Sure, they had a bye week, but you are by far the better team. And you should be able to motivate yourself just a little bit, considering when you're looking at this playoff picture now. I mean, Baltimore, they should really sit here and think like, man, we got a legit shot to be the number 1 seed. Buffalo has lost to the Jags. They almost lost to the Dolphins themselves. The Tennessee Titans, they don't have Derrick Henry, and you really want to have that home field advantage when it comes to the playoffs. And if you can be that team that has the only bye week, I mean, I really think that's going to play a monumental type of thing. So what do y'all think here? Is this a must-win game for the Ravens' playoff chances? I want you to give me a Y for yes, or I want you to go on down and type N for no. I mean, I'm always the type of dude that's like every single game, is absolutely the game where you got to win, because if you don't show up, the NFL can really just hit you in the face real quick. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and type my Y for yes. Now, earlier in the video, I promised you I would give you my score prediction. So actually, if we could show the odds in the over-under one more time, then I'll go ahead and give you my score prediction here in this Ravens and Chicago Bears game. When you look at it, 4.5 spread for the Ravens, who are the favorite. The over-under in this one is at 45, so if you're wondering, what should I bet on? Remember, you can go to chatsports.com/bet, use the promo code CHAT125, and get that 125% deposit bonus. All right, I made you guys wait long enough. My score prediction here for the Baltimore Ravens up against the Chicago Bears, give me the Ravens 27-14 in a victory. If anybody disagree with me, hey, it's all good. I'm going to be looking down in the comments to see your score predictions. If you like that, well, hopefully you like the video, because then they're going to go ahead and win. But I want to continue to grow this channel, so if you haven't, take that link that you see below, youtube.com/RavensTV. Send it to a friend. Send it to 5 friends, because the more subs we get, the more videos we can do around here.